Hey everybody, how you doing? Hopefully you're having a nice weekend. Really quick video this weekend just to go over some opportunities I'm keeping my eye on for next week. So here's the SPY, S&P 500 ETF. I typically, start with this. Last week, not much movement, but we are holding this 270 to 271 area. That's highlighted in yellow, which is pretty big. So nothing to be concerned about as long as that level holds. We broke out of that, downtrend line from January. We're holding that level, so looking pretty good. Here's IWM. Russell 2000, the small cap ETF here. We broke out last week to all-time highs. This week we gave some of that back, but we're still holding that level, obviously in the long-term uptrend. So as of right now, everything's looking pretty healthy. That could change, but so far so good. So interesting chart I wanted to point out and potential opportunity for next week is XLE. Energy was just it got hurt pretty bad on Friday. Really tough day. Oil was down. These energy companies were down quite a bit. But I was looking at this into close and thought, well, maybe it'll find some support here around the 74 area, just because that was the former consolidation period where it broke out here. Consolidated most of April into May, and then it broke out. So it came back to retest that, pulled up off it a little bit, and that level coincides with the 38.2% retracement from those April lows, to those highs in May. So we have a couple potential levels of support. Anything could happen. Just because something has potential to act as support doesn't mean it will. But we do have two levels lining up. We have that consolidation. So I like this. I actually entered some small position in calls on Friday and alerted members at ttptrading.com. So we'll see if it works out. If it gaps below this level or gets much below that highlighted level 74 there, I'd probably just get out and reevaluate, maybe watch from the sidelines until it firms up. But I think we have some potential for a bounce here. Maybe initial target, maybe we fill that gap around 76. So that's something to watch on Monday morning as the markets open. If it firms up a little bit, you can look for it to fill that gap and then hopefully retest those old highs. So that's just one I wanted to point out. Here's PayPal. So this chart is, it has this downtrend line. Like I've said before, I don't put too much into these trend lines. It helps you show, for me, a kind of a change in character of the stock. So we broke above that. We got kind of broke above it here and then kind of retested it, and it's kind of pulled above it. And then we have this horizontal level here, which is what I like to trade off of. We'll call it $80 or so. So it broke above that. Friday gave some back. So we'll see. Maybe this one needs some time to kind of consolidate here. But this is one I definitely have my eyes on for a trade, because above that 80 level, it looks like it has potential to make a run. So one I'm keeping my eye on there. A lot of semiconductor names hitting my radar this weekend. A lot of nice looking charts. I just picked a couple to put in here. So this one, $95 is this big level. It's kind of similar to PayPal. It has this downtrend line, kind of kisses the bottom of it, comes back up. So now I'm looking for it to firm up above this 95 level. Looking pretty good, just kind of dancing around it right now. So if it starts to pull away above that, this would be a nice potential long idea, in my opinion, from a good looking group. QNTA, another semiconductor. A little bit of a different trade here. This one's kind of in a longer term uh, downtrend, but it's been making higher lows here, and then it's kind of pressing above this 1560 area was resistance here, kind of got up there and there, couldn't quite do it, and then last Wednesday, I believe, had a nice breakout above it, and then it's kind of held that level. So definitely one on my radar to watch and see if it starts to pull away from that 16 would potentially trigger a long trade for me there. Now is when I'm kind of being, patient with. It has this level, 175 or so. It's been resistance here a few times, kind of broke above it there. Now it's back below it. And now it's, right in that zone. So if this one starts pulling away, 178 or so, we have our level to trade against here. You can put it below the yellow 173. You can put your stop there. Probably more likely for me, maybe below those, below the low there from last week. But this one is a long-term uptrend. It just been kind of, had a huge gain here, and it's just been kind of digesting those gains. So as it starts to kind of change character and move out of this range, that's where I'd look to enter. So for right now, just being patient, have watching it. If it gets above that, above that yellow and kind of starts breaking out, then this is one that I may be entering. Specialty chemicals along with semiconductors is another one I've seen a lot of charts pop up that caught my eye this week. When here's PX, we have this highlighted level here around 156. It's resistance here and here and here. So, had this nice run from the beginning of April. Almost straight up here, had about a 13-14% gain. Now it's kind of giving some back, and it's kind of settling in right around that 156 level. So if it's showing some signs of bouncing here, this would be a nice potential trade opportunity, because you can, again, you could put your stop a little bit under that yellow, so you have your risk defined. It's in a longer term uptrend, so I think there might be some upside here. So just one to watch. Another one here, WLK, another specialty chemical name. We have this 114, 115 level that's been resistance a few times. So this one right now, we'll see if it's ready. It's just kind of giving back. It had that nice run from May. It gave, it's had about an 18-20% gain in the month of May, and now it's given some back. So as it kind of digests those gains, we'll look for it to show signs of resuming the uptrend, and that's where I would like to enter. So maybe it pulls back to this 114. Sometimes in a strong stock, it doesn't always get you all the way back to the breakout level. So you just kind of have to watch it, and maybe watch for it to flatten for a day or two, and then pull away, and that's where I would look to enter. So we'll go over one more here. Here's tech. Um, let me zoom out to the weekly chart, and you can really see this level here, around $26 was a big level. It's been resistance a few times, almost got the pack there. This goes back to 2016, was support here, and then here kind of, lost respect for it a little bit, kind of chopped around. And then let me zoom into the daily. It broke back above this level here, a couple weeks ago, and now it's come back down to retest that gap up. So if it starts digging in here, this one has a nice potential. It's in a longer term uptrend. If you look here, I mean, it's way above those July lows. It's been making higher lows. So this one you can trade against this, $26 level. The 200-day is not too far below. If that's something you look at, that's less than 7% below current price. So if it starts looking like it bounces here, I like this one quite a bit. You have your risk defined, and it's in a nice nice spot here, to nice tradable spot. So those are just some things I'm looking at next week. Hope you found it helpful. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and hopefully we all have some winners next week. Take care.